Today, a woman is working shoulder to shoulder with men. Be it a rocket launch site or a construction site, you will find men and women work side by side to make progress. While women are earning the highest ever seen in the history, how are they managing their money is still a matter of question. Let us view this video that was done by Paytm a little while ago.
Hello everyone. Thank you so much for coming to help us conduct this experiment today.
We were of different ages. We were made to stand in a line.
Now I'm gonna ask you a bunch of questions. If your answer is a yes, step forward. If it's a no, please step back. Here goes. Ready? Did you learn how to ride a bicycle before the age of 10? Did you learn music in school? Did you take any lessons in sports? And no, video games are not a sport, even if it has the word game in it. Did you learn how to iron your clothes while still in school? Take a step forward. If not, take a step back. If you can make tea or breakfast, not just for yourselves, please step forward. If not, take a step back.
In the beginning, I think the questions were more general. People were still going forward and backward. Questions like, it was funny to see the cooking question. There were a lot of men who went ahead and there were women who were going behind.
Do you usually make all the household bill payments yourself? Do you know the circle rate in your area? Do you know the price of gold today? Do you know the exact breakup of your salary?
As the questions unfolded, the stark difference came out visibly.
Do you know the details of the financial documents you're asked to sign? Have you bought a vehicle in your own name without consulting anybody? Have you bought insurance policies unassisted? Do you watch or follow the budget?
You think you're doing okay, but then you're like, okay, these are kind of important things that I don't look at.
Do you manage your own finances and earnings unassisted? Do you know how to invest in mutual funds? Do you know the difference between a mutual fund and an SIP? Do you make the investments for your family members or your spouse? Do you file your own income tax return? Now everyone who's in front, could you please turn around and look behind you? Initially, when you guys started moving, there wasn't such a big gap. My question is, when did this gap start to occur?
The minute the questions became about managing money, the gap between men and women became very clear and evident.
Women handling certain responsibilities regarding their own life, which were always passed on to someone else in the family or the men.
There was a slight unfairness I realized at that time. But at that point, it seemed normal.
I was upset. I wanted to be at the front of the line. It's like, why don't I know this? Why am I not confident enough to say, yes, I am able to understand this?
It was quite an eye-opener for me because I always depended on the men of the family to take care of my investments and, plan my future.
I felt that obviously men are more into it than women. So eventually, I did expect the gap to be there.
Over the years growing up, there were certain very traditionally masculine tropes that were assigned for him and certain traditionally feminine tropes that were assigned for me.
For women, it's practically debarred to learn to know and to focus on money.
I wish I had known from the beginning of my childhood and kind of thought about that I would be doing so much better.
Just actionable measures is what we want, really.
Based on this video, it's quite evident that while women have made tremendous progress in whatever they have set out to do in their careers, in the aspect of money management, they have let it be with their spouses, their fathers, or some near friend or relative. They have not really bothered to take charge of that. And today we're going to explore the area of why women must take charge of their finances. women have some very, very unique needs as compared to the man. So there are some very, very challenging things that they go through life, which is why we believe their situation is very different from a man's. So it needs to be looked at from their lenses. So why do women need to take better control of their money and manage it well? First, traditionally women outlive men. They are going to live longer and there is no shying away from that. Which means that the earlier you start managing money, the better it is for you because it has to last you for a much longer time. So longevity of life is an important part of how we manage our money. Second, today women earn as much as a man in many corporate ladders. It's important therefore to ensure that they manage money so that it works to their advantage. Whatever they want to spend, wherever they need to be, this money will come in handy for them. Third, women have very different career trajectory as compared to men. While a man may have an uninterrupted career track record, women often take time away from work to be caregivers if there are elders in the family or to give birth to children and start a family. So there are breaks in their career. And in order to negotiate these breaks, it's important that they have a good financial plan in place so that when they are not earning actively, there is a passive income that's coming to them through the investments that were made earlier. So it's extremely important for all these purposes that women are well planned. Next, whether we like it or not, there is a certain amount of gender parity pay that's prevalent in the marketplace. The women are at a disadvantage in this front, but they are much more thrifty and much more prone to saving money. Therefore, they are in a better position to overcome this disadvantage by saving and investing smarter than the man. So you can overcome a significant disadvantage on pay parity by being smarter on planning your investments. Next, women tend to continue much longer than their partner, which means that they will have at some point in their life to manage money. The earlier one starts, the better it is and the learning is much better. Last but not the least, women's financial planning priorities are very different. It's not about them, it's about the family, which means that they are probably putting their savings to work or their investments to work for their child's future or for their family's needs ahead. Therefore, it is important that somebody looks at it from their lens and not from a generic standpoint. These are all the reasons why it's very important that earning women start planning for themselves and managing their own money. But what are the different aspects that one needs to keep in mind while helping women manage their investments? First up is the risk temperament. Women are traditionally safe players. That's the traditional view. There are always exceptions, but they tend to have a lower temperament for risk. Therefore, they will tend to kind of invest in products that are not highly risky, but which are balanced in nature. So one needs to keep that in mind. Second, while diversifying investments, women tend to stay away from very high risk investments. Could be Bitcoin kind of investments, or even sometimes they could stay away from real estate investments, which will involve a lot of external interactions. They prefer to keep something that they can access quite easily rather than take those bets where they have to do a lot of work before they can access that money. Third, they are looking at liquidity for their needs. Like I mentioned earlier, when they are kind of getting off work for a limited period of time or they're taking a sabbatical due to giving support to an elder in the family, they would require liquidity so that if they have financial needs at that time, they don't have to depend on their partner, but they have the money that is necessary for that. So these are all the reasons why one would look at investment options that are distinct for women as compared to men. So the reasons for women are plenty. They just need to grab that opportunity. At Finsherpa, we are very happy to help women plan and invest their precious savings for their secure future. Reach out to us and we'll be glad to help you in managing your investment.